Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited for this conversation. Very much looking forward to speaking to our next guest, who is truly, truly inspirational to me and to many people around the world. Please welcome Grandmother Flordemayo. Bienvenidos. Hello, Grandmother Flordemayo.
Thank you so very much.
And before we do our opening meditation, our invocation, I want to share a bit about Grandmother Flordemayo. Raised by her mother, who was a midwife, Grandmother Flordemayo grew up in the highlands of Central America in a family of Mayan healers. She travels the globe to share healing and to foster a more spiritual understanding among humanity. Thank you for your work again, and I hand it over to you so we can begin.
Thank you so very much. Beloved Creator, Creador, beloved beauty, belleza, beloved heart of the heavens, Creador, corazón del cielo, Creator, Mother, heart of the earth, Creadora, Madre, corazón de la tierra. Thank you. Thank you, beloved Creator. Thank you, beloved beauty. Thank you for all of the beautiful things that you bring to us in our daily lives. All of those things that are good and all of those things that are indifferent, beloved beauty. Today is the day of Kat, beloved Creator. It's the day of the sacred net. It's the day in which we as humans confront and eliminate life's difficulties. It's a beautiful, auspicious day, beloved beauty, that you bring us together so that we can send our voice out into the four directions, so that we could hear each other on the level of the heart, so that we could see each other heart to heart, beloved beauty. This is the way of our teachings, the teachings of our ancestors. Beloved Creator, beloved beauty, I want to thank the spirit of the four elements of life, the spirit of the sun, beloved beauty, the spirit of the waters, beloved Creator, the spirit of the sacred wind, beloved Mother, the spirit of the sacred earth, beloved beauty. Without these elements, beloved Creator, there is no life. We stand here on this earth, beloved Creator, from the beginning of time, experiencing these elements. Not only us as humans, but all of life, all that is organic, all that lives on the earth, all that grows on the earth, all that lives in the oceans, all that lives in the lakes and the rivers, all that lives in the mountains, beloved Creator, all of life. The spirit of the sacred volcanoes, beloved Creator, they are part of our lives. They're part of the extension of this beautiful, beautiful earth. Beloved beauty, all of those that fly, all of life, we are all of that. On this sacred day, beloved Creator, I am in gratitude. I am in gratitude of all of this beauty that you have created for us. I send my gratitude to the spirit of all of our ancestors. and those ancestors that dwell in all of the sacred lands of the earth, beloved Creator. All of those places of ceremonies, all of those places in which we have come together to do ceremony, where we planted the umbilicus of prayer, connecting ourselves between the heavens and the earth. On this sacred day, beloved Creator, I send my gratitude. I want to thank the grandmothers of the four directions, the lords of the four directions. Beloved beauty, in the name of all of this beauty, in the name of the great mystery, in the name of all that there is, I thank you.
Thank you, Grandmother. As I sit with this deep connection to gratitude and to the energy of the Mother of the Earth, what comes to heart as I have this conversation with you is that when people start looking through their ancestral lineage, a lot of times the information they can find is male dominated, right? We can find the man who owned the farm or the man who owned the car. Why is it so important for us to connect with the mother line, with the matrilineal connection when we do ancestral work?
It's important because we as women are seed carriers of the future generations. It is through the spirit of the feminine, through the carrier, because we are the carriers of the womb, we bring life forth. When a woman in Central America has birth, is giving birth, is in the process of birthing, the word that the midwife, la comadrona, uses, she says, la señora está dando a luz, o va a dar luz. So what these precious words mean, she is bringing light forth, or life is being birthed. And this is not too long ago, because when I was a child, I went with my mother when she was assisting as a midwife. And so these words were used. So it's not so long ago. It's not so long ago, meaning 70 years ago. And I believe in my heart that we still use these words because it's part of our heritage, it's part of our language, it's part of who we are. Because we also acknowledge that we are children of the light. We are human beings in this human form, but we have a light form. And this light has memory. And it is through this light memory that we can connect through prayer, through ceremony, through the simplicity of making ceremony very, very simple. I bring such a great joy into my heart to take something our mind can make it very complicated, because it's not about the mind. It's just about feeling your body at the moment and embracing your matriz, your womb. when we think about it, think about la dicha, how lucky we are as women that we are seed carriers and that we have this. And our mothers brought us into life this way, our grandmothers, and each and every one of us were born with these eggs to bring light forth. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful moment to be thinking about it, to be talking about it. When we speak about our ancestral lineage, in the Western world, we have a tendency to become too academic about it, too, how should I say, too, I'm going to say too complicated, you know?
I love that because before there were courses and before we were taking classes and reading books, we were communing with our body, with our breath, with the air, with the elements, and ceremony was coming through our hearts and our spirit, right, as we lived. And as we've lost that connection, or some of us, or most of us, the planet. You talk about seeds, and I love that because it is seeds, not only for humanity, for birthing children, birthing ideas, birthing change. Do you feel that womb healing or healing our womb is connected to ancestral healing? Is a part of it?
It's part of it, absolutely. But in being part, the one thing is to, to embrace that we all have ancestors. That's one thing. And to embrace that there was no way that you could be standing here as a breathing human being without somebody before you, without somebody giving birth to you. Okay? So there's a lineage behind all of that, because we are migrating humans. We might not know where exactly our moms, our dads, might be from. And it becomes almost at a point of becoming compulsive about it because we have an idea of what we want to be, and it might not be the reality of who we are. Because we as humans, it's the dominant gene that is going to show what we look like right now. And so not until we really get into exploring about our DNA, and not until we get into exploring of the possibilities of reincarnation, because many of our ancestors reincarnate in us. We are them and they are us. And sometimes we might not know what our great-grandfather might have looked like, but if someone was to show you a picture of your son, you might say, gee, that looks like a lot like great-grandpa, whether it's the lips, the eyes, the nose, the hair, or even expressions. There is we inherit a lot of that, other than the hair, the intelligence, the color of our skin. We are an individual at birth, but we have an accumulation of all of our inheritance together.
Yes, and something you had said earlier about how important it is for us to connect to the matrilineal line and how we're seed carriers. And is there a way for us, and how ceremony could be simpler than we imagine, that we're making everything so complicated? Is there a simple way for us to do some ancestral healing through the womb that you could recommend?
Absolutely. Okay, so we got through the conversation of acknowledging that we do have a womb as women, right? And that we do have our menstrual every 28 days. And we do go to a period of menopause. And through the period of having our period, okay, there is a releasing of these eggs. And in this, how should we say, in us coming together and trying to do ceremony, okay, one of the things that we do in Central America is that we are encouraged to embrace, okay, embrace like a little canastita, like a little basket. We make a little basket with our fingers and we hold ourselves right at the pubic area and we cradle our womb. And we acknowledge that it is there. And it's alive and well because we get our period once a month. Okay? So through that whole time that we are in an age of bringing light forth, of bringing a child into the world, we could be, that's a simple step. Instead of holding your hands like this in prayer, hold your hands down and make a little basket and embrace your womb. Talk to your womb. And in this dialogue, bring the thought of your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother. Go as far as you can go and acknowledge that feminine energy that you are part of. Because these women have been carrying us since the beginning of time. And we are sitting right now carrying the future generations. It's an incredible thought. And when I speak to women, it seems like I'm just talking like this is the first time they heard about it. But we have to bring it into the open, because it's not anything other than positive that we are the carriers of life. It is nothing more than positive that when we have our periods, we have enormous amount of energy. If our field extends at an arm length, our field when we have our period extends way beyond that, beyond 20 feet, beyond 40 feet, beyond 60 feet. We could go as far as 100 feet radius. We're walking around like a ball of energy in that period that we are having our period. And it is through this feeling of energy that we are told that it's not a good thing. But we have to really dispute it. Is how can something so natural not be good? How can something that brings life is not good? Or I'm Central American, as everybody knows, right? I'm Latina from Nicaragua. Or maybe it's not conveniente, convenient for the machos, okay? For the machismos, for the men, you know, that are not going to have sex during that period of time, you know? You're like, you know, it's not happening, you know? So maybe it's that, you know?
I love that you brought that up because in the Western world, we are brought up not to like our bodily fluids, not to like our down there, not to like, we're separated from what is natural. So I love what you just shared, and that maybe it was born of not being practical for the patriarchy, the machismo.
Right, right. It's over. You know, we can't be thinking about that anymore. You know, we are humans that have a voice. We have to have a voice. We are givers of life. We demand the respect. And for us to be told that que somos sucias, I mean, give me a break, you know? That we're dirty during that time. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, you know?
Not at all. I love that you brought this up. And as you've given us this beautiful way to connect with our womb and the wisdom behind it of why we're at this place where many of us don't have a connection with our monthly blood or with our feminine body. I wanted to ask you, what is the uterus pot and what is the history behind it?
I have to say that, you know, forgive me that I don't physically have one with me right now. What happened was that we had a lot of rain here in New Mexico, and now the cold weather has come in, and I have them put away in a cabinet because they're very fragile, okay? Basically, what it is a pot in shape of a uterus. And in Central America, we do a lot of fire ceremonies, right? And so when the baby is born, before the baby is a year old, or pretty much in Central America, it would be pretty much after the baby is born within days. We do a fire ceremony, and we put the placenta in the fire, and the placenta becomes a charcoal, like a little ball of charcoal. Now, this little charcoal is put away in a pot, you know, in a pot. This is not the pot that I'm talking about, but in a pot. And you put the placenta in there, right? Now, what the grandmothers do when the children are not getting along is that she takes a little bit of the carbon, which is the charcoal of the placenta, and she mixes it in chocolate, which is the hot cocoa that we have in Central America. And she puts a little sprinkle of it. And what this does is that it helps the children to get along. And so other than being, how should I say, preserved through this fire ceremony, you know, then it's used throughout the life where the grandmother or the parents, you know, use that. So it's kind of like an open secret that if somebody in the family, and you know how it is, sometimes there are cousins and brothers and sisters that don't get along, you know, and you know, just put a little bit of the carbon, the charcoal in the chocolate, and it brings harmony within the families. It has how should I say it's used.
Beautiful. And is this a practice that's still going on today?
Oh, absolutely. I just did a ceremony for my great grandson, placenta ceremony last month. And it all had to do with that I could only do it when I could come down. He is in Hawaii,
Wow.
my baby. Now, in Hawaii, they have a different ceremony for the placenta. And so there was a combination of two cultures coming together and, doing the ceremony like that.
Beautiful. And if anybody was, listening to this conversation and was interested in doing this, should they reach out to you? Or because it's not that common, this is the first time I've heard of it, being South American, and I'm sure that there are people who may be watching going, oh, I want to share that with my family. Would they go through you, or who would they reach out to?
Yes, that's fine. So I just want to share that. You have to be in communication with your doctor, and be able to ask for the placenta. You're not going to receive the baby with the placenta, right? So you have to ask for it, and they have to do some preparations before they give it to you. And so it takes, it could take a couple of weeks before you actually, bring it home. So for me, the baby's placenta, it was put in the freezer, and the night before we did the fire ceremony, which the fire ceremony was, this particular one for the baby was done at sunrise, because the baby's name has to do with the sunrise. And so we decided to do the ceremony at sunrise, and it was done at the beach, being that Hawaii is surrounded by the oceans. It was just the perfect place. As the first light of the dawn was coming up, we were starting our fire ceremony. And also the baby was present, and also the baby was blessed with the fire. The father brought the baby and blessed the baby with the fire, very gently and very carefully.
What a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And I think that it invites us to perceive the placenta, perceive our monthly blood, perceive the cycle of being a woman who can give birth and give light differently. Is there anything else on your heart that you would like to share with us about ancestral healing through our cycles as women, through giving birth?
Absolutely. When we have our periods, we should designate an area where we can squat and allow the blood to flow. And I'm going to be like the old-fashioned grandmas and say, I insist that every young girl learns to do this, young woman, It doesn't matter what your age is, as long as you're having your menstrual. And the reason for that, the biggest reason is this: the earth needs that food, that energy. And the reason that the earth is going through such turmoil is because we are not keeping up with the old teachings. It's necessary.
I'm just imagining all the young women being able to do this and changing the way they perceive their monthly moon and their connection to the earth, and that they're actually supporting the earth by bleeding onto it. And what a beautiful world that would be. What happens through the Mayan perspective, through your teachings, through your wisdom, Mayan wisdom, when somebody goes into menopause?
Well, everything is good because you've done it all. You've bled on the earth for how long? 35 years, 40 years? I mean, quite some time. Yeah.
And so does the power change, like the power that we hold in our bodies, since we're not bleeding?
What you have done is that you have continued the commitment that the previous generations have done. Okay? In the old days, the women used to use trapos. In other words, it would be, the word would be more called like rags. In Central America, we could call rags anything. A kitchen towel could be a rag, right?
Mhm.
So I'm not saying that a rag is something that your husband was outside cleaning, the car, okay? I'm talking about something that is kept clean, for your monthly menstrual. But these trapos, the women wash them by hand. And the water that they used in washing them was so sacred that they would take it to the nearest tree. I mean, it wasn't like, it was just held in such reverence. And so, what I'm encouraging everybody right now is that we have lost our way. Vanessa, we have lost our way. And even us, that have come from another country, we want to become so westernized, so Americana, that, we want to forget about all of these old things. And I'm here to say, don't forget about those old things, because we need them. We need to keep the balance. There's such atrocities that are going on the earth right now. I mean, I don't even have to mention anything. Everybody knows what's going on. So why not do something that is very beneficial to the earth, that you don't have to go to the store and get anything? All you have to do is squat on the ground every 28 days. And if you can't do it, put it in a little cup, in a little container, and it's all good. It's all good. Imagine if we were all doing that around the globe. And I'm sure that there are many, many nations around the globe that are doing that right now. Because these are some things that really, never go out of style. It's just something that we have to do.
So beautiful. And I hold that vision that we start to, if we've forgotten our ways, or if they've been so distant from us, that we begin to do that and to heal the earth that way as well, and heal ourselves. Is there anything else, Grandmother Flordemayo, that you have on your heart that you would like to share with us today?
Well, I just want to say that we have a responsibility. Not only did we bring life into the world, but we have a responsibility to educate our young girls and also our young men in this way. And the reason that I say the men, because, it's not always women raising their children, also men are raising their children, and perhaps maybe the men have little girls that they have to teach. And so I would always say, we have to bring the men into the mix. We can't separate the men. It's up to us to undo this. How should I say this? Energy of machismo. And how we do that is by raising our little boys to be kind and gentle, to be little boys, but to be respectful, to be respectful, that's all. To bring in their gentleness out and to allow them to express themselves, without getting in a fist fights, But I know that in Central America, if it is not for the women, how should I say? I'm thinking of a word here. Being bilingual, sometimes, and at my age, the words kind of disappear. My mind is kind of thinking of a word here. For us to turn that energy of machismo and eliminate it,
Mhm.
We don't have to treat our newborn little boys like they are the prince of the house, and that
Absolutely.
nobody can make any noise, nobody can do anything because the little boy is sleeping. Okay? I mean, we in Central America, we do such things with our little boys that we don't do with our little girls. It's what I'm saying, we have to try to change our way of thinking, our mentality, because if we are at home raising our children, it's up to us. It's up to us to bring both of our male little boys and little girls in balance.
Thank you, Grandmother Flordemayo. I think it was really important that you said that, because oftentimes we focus on reclaiming the spirituality and the sacred feminine for women. It's important to include men so they could learn to honor the sacred feminine in women and in themselves, right? Because it's not us against them, it's all of us together.
It's all of us together, and not only that, stand by them and encourage them. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Grandmother Flor de Mayo. I don't know if you're ready to close or if there's anything else that you would like to share with us today.
I wanted to do like a short something really short, like a short little something, that we can use, okay, as to remind us of our generations. Okay, so here I have a prayer shawl, okay, and it's made out of tiritas, which are like little little small, it's like 12-inch pieces of ribbons. Okay, these ribbons can represent our ancestral lineage, our maternal and paternal, and we could weave it together, make it real simple, a prayer shawl that we can put together. We can use containers, okay, to put information in here. We can get little pieces of paper and we can put in here. We might not know the names of our mother and our father, their mothers, but we can honor them by putting in a little piece of paper, mom, mom's mom, mom's grandma, so we can just write it in a piece of paper. The container could be any size. It could be a teeny weeny little tiny little pot like this. Just put it in there. It could be made out of glass. It doesn't have to be made out of pottery. It could look like a little dish like this that you can put in your altar. The other thing that we make are these little like medicine bags like this, right? And we can put our names inside the bag, and we can carry this. We can put it in our altar. We could carry it with us. We can put it in our pocket. We could actually hang it on the mirror of our car so that we have in here is our ancestors. We have to become inventive and simple in how to address this, because the more complicated that we make, the less that we don't do anything.
Right.
If it becomes too complicated, we're not going to do it. My motto of life is, if it isn't simple, I don't want to do it. If it isn't fun, I don't want to do it.
I love it. I love it, Grandmother Flor de Mayo. I think I'm going to use the medicine bag. I have an altar here, but I like that idea of putting in the names of those that I do know and putting in just, like my grandmother's grandmother, etc.
Yeah, just that little bit of reference, and you know that you're walking with all of your ancestors, because every human being on the planet, their ancestry go back to the beginning of time. It's just no other way.
So beautiful. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
I'm going to close for the moment, okay? Beloved Creator, beloved Beauty, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to receive and to share these beautiful words, beloved Creator. Thank you for reminding us of all of the beautiful things that we have on this earth and how we, as human beings walking on the earth, how we could come together with all of life and all of the spirit of all of our ancestors, beloved Creator. Not only the ancestors in our family, but the ancestors all over the globe, ancestors also of all of the lands, beloved Creator, the ancestors of all the waters, beloved Beauty, the sweet water, the bitter water, the sour water, the salty water, beloved Creator. Bless us on this beautiful, beautiful day of God. And thank you for allowing us to speak of the entanglements of life so that we can free ourselves and live in the moment in love with all of your beauty. In the name of the great mystery, beloved Creator, I thank you. I love you.
Thank you.
Much love and light, Vanessa.
Thank you, Grandmother Flordemayo. Thank you so much. It's been such an honor for everyone out there. Thank you for being with us today. May you be filled with gratitude and beauty and the blessings of being wildly human on this earth. Thank you all.
Amor y luz.
Amor y luz.